Imagine a vast land of 39 million souls, each with their own story to tell. While the dazzling lights of Toronto, the artistic vibe of Montreal, and the coastal charm of Vancouver might steal the spotlight, there's a quiet powerhouse at the heart of it all. Welcome to Ottawa, Canada's capital. Although it might not have gained as much recognition as its larger counterparts, Ottawa is an attractive city positioned in the eastern region of Ontario. Interestingly, it didn't always hold the status of Canada's capital. In fact, before Ottawa, other cities like Kingston, Montreal, Toronto, and even Quebec City took their turns as potential capitals within the province of Canada. So what sparked the shift and led to Ottawa's rise as Canada's capital? Before delving into the factors that led to Ottawa becoming the capital, it's important to take a step back and examine the transformation that shaped Ottawa into the city it is today. The Ottawa region's earliest inhabitants were the Algonquin First Nation members, Native Americans who established settlements in the lush Ottawa River Valley. Among these tribes was the Ottawa, or Outaouais people, though they only resided here briefly in the mid-1600s. Their primary territory was situated farther west around Lake Huron. The Ottawa people were renowned traders, with their name thought to originate from an Algonquin term signifying to trade. They were known to engage in the local fur trade. Samuel de Champlain penned the earliest accounts of the future Ottawa site back in 1613. Over the following couple of centuries, the rivers acted as vital routes for explorers and fur traders alike. In 1763, under the Treaty of Paris, France relinquished all of New France east of the Mississippi River to Great Britain. This marked a significant turning point in the area's history. Now, even though the United Kingdom owned the land, permanent European settlement eluded the region until the arrival of Philemon Wright on March 7, 1800. Wright took routes across the river from modern-day Ottawa site, accompanied by 5 families and 25 diligent laborers. He embarked on establishing the fresh community Kingston, Wrightsville, which was incorporated in 1875 as the City of Hull, which is now part of Gatineau. Wright nobly spearheaded the burgeoning lumber trade in the vicinity, swiftly transforming it into a pivotal economic pursuit. You see, in 1806, Wright initiated the felling of trees, sparking the emergence of a robust timber trade that drew in lumberjacks and a range of transient laborers. However, during this time, Ottawa on the South Shore remained without any European settlement. The establishment of a lasting settlement on the southern riverbank transpired in the subsequent decade. This pivotal move was catalyzed by the War of 1812, a confrontation between Britain and the United States. The conflict illuminated the vulnerability of the St. Lawrence River, stretching between Montreal and Kingston, Ontario, making it susceptible to military and economic threats. In response, the British devised an ingenious plan. They would transform the Rideau River into a navigable canal. This innovative engineering effort would provide an alternative shipping route and transportation course, rerouting traffic along the Ottawa River to Chaudière Falls, and then back down to Kingston. It would be on September 26, 1826, the community of Bytown was founded, named after John By, a colonel with the British Royal Engineers who was instrumental in the construction of the Rideau Canal. The community popped up as a land speculator came to the area after it was announced the British would be building the north end of Rideau Canal at the location. Under Colonel By's direction, the layout of Bytown Street was carefully planned. Remarkably, several of those streets he charted out back then, such as Wellington Street, Rideau Street, Sussex Street, and Spark Street, continue to endure to this day. Fast forwarding a bit, the province of Canada came into being in 1841, and as previously mentioned, Kingston was its capital. However, the capital designation shifted to Montreal in 1844, maintaining its status until 1849. A wave of unrest over the Rebellion Losses Bill in 1849 culminated in rioters setting fire to Montreal's Parliament buildings. With this pivotal event, the capital relocated to Toronto, persisting there until 1852. Subsequently, the capital rotated to Quebec City for the years 1852 to 1856, with a brief return to Toronto in 1858, before once again going back to Quebec City in 1859. Quebec City would retain its status as the capital until 1866. Amidst these changes, Bytown underwent its own transformation. It achieved incorporation as a town in 1850 and further evolved into the City of Ottawa by 1855. Indeed, the early years of the province of Canada were marked by a flurry of capital changes, making it a period of considerable turmoil. In 1857, a pivotal decision was made when Queen Victoria was called upon to designate a permanent capital for the province of Canada. Surprisingly, she selected Ottawa, a relatively modest city with a population of just 7.7 thousand people and an economy heavily reliant on the lumber industry. So what prompted this choice for a new and seemingly unassuming city? Well, the decision to choose Ottawa as a capital wasn't a sudden whim of Queen Victoria. In fact, the process had been underway for some time. You see, the Queen being assigned to designate the capital at least 3 times since 1841. It's fascinating to note that the determination of Ottawa's capital was influenced by more than just the Queen's preference. You see, Sir Richard Scott was a prominent lawyer in Ottawa, and he played a pivotal role in advocating for the city's potential to become the capital. With his insight, he foresaw the growth prospects Ottawa could enjoy if it were to become the capital. Scott's involvement in local governance, having served on the municipal council in 1851 and as the mayor of Bytown in 1852, provided him with deep understanding of the city's capabilities. What's even more intriguing is that Ottawa's geographical location played a significant part in its selection. You see, it's positioned as a frontier town it occupied a strategic midpoint between the Toronto and Kingston cities, the former capitals of Canada West, as well as Montreal and Quebec City, the former capitals of Canada East. This central placement made it an attractive choice, fostering a sense of unity and balance between the different regions of the province of Canada. In 1856, a year prior to Queen Victoria's decision, a significant political gathering convened to assess the claims of 5 cities vying for the coveted role of the new capital. Among these contenders were Quebec City, Toronto, Kingston, Montreal, and Ottawa. The competition was fierce and the debates were vigorous. And despite the fervent discussions and assessments, the gathering didn't manage to reach a unanimous consensus on any one city as the capital. In fact, over the course of that year, an astounding 48 separate votes were conducted in an attempt to arrive at a resolution. Yet, to everyone's astonishment, no city was able to garner the sustained support of a majority across any of these votes. As the dust settled of this prolonged deliberation, it became abundantly clear that a satisfactory agreement was elusive. The solution, it turned out, was for Queen Victoria herself to step in and make the final call. On March 24, 1857, a significant resolution was passed by the Legislative Assembly of the Province of Canada. It goes as follows: that the interest of Canada require that the seat of the provincial government should be fixed at some certain place, that a sum not exceeding £225,000 be appropriated for the purpose of providing the necessary buildings and accommodation for the government and the legislature at that certain place. And finally, that a humble address be presented to Her Majesty, praying that she may be graciously pleased to exercise the royal prerogative by the selection of some one place as a permanent seat of government in Canada. The vote passed with 61 in favor and 50 against. Sir Richard Scott's effort to make Ottawa the capital received significant backing, including the support from Prince Albert, Queen Victoria's consort. Moreover, Sir Edmund Head, the Governor-General of the Province of Canada, personally visited each potential capital site. After thorough consideration, he recommended Ottawa as the best choice. His decision was based on Ottawa's strategic geographical position. It was situated between the other contenders, and its defensibility due to its location away from the American border. And this consideration was particularly important. You see, just 45 years prior, the United States had invaded Canada, which led to the War of 1812. In the autumn of 1857, Queen Victoria reached her decision. Ottawa would be the capital. However, the formal announcement didn't come until December 31st. At the time of the decision, the community boasted a population of around 8,000 residents. The original Parliament buildings, comprising the Centre, East, and West blocks, were constructed in the Gothic Revival style between 1859 and 1866. This monumental project marked the largest construction endeavor ever undertaken in North America at that time. Public Works Canada and its architect faced challenges with the relatively shallow bedrock, leading to redesigns and delays in the architectural plans. The construction of the Library of Parliament and the landscaping of Parliament Hill were completed in 1876, and within just 15 years of its designation as the capital, Ottawa's population surged to 21,000. By 1901, that number grew to 101,000. Today, Ottawa is home to over 1 million people, making it the fourth largest city in Canada. Notably, Ottawa holds the distinction of being the most educated city in the country, housing various post-secondary research and cultural institutions. These include the National Arts Centre, the National Gallery, and numerous museums. As of 2015, the Ottawa-Gatineau region boasts the sixth highest total household income among all Canadian metropolitan areas, at $82,053. It has a GDP of around $76.6 billion, contributing enormously to the province's total GDP. Also, Ottawa stands as one of Canada's most bilingual cities. And with that being said, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you understand why Ottawa is Canada's capital. If you've enjoyed it, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to comment down below what you'd like to see next, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.